The next letter is ta. The first thing is the articulator of ta. The articulator of ta is same as the ta and da, the tip of the tongue and the gum of the upper two teeth. Okay. The second thing is the attribute of ta. There is a difference between the ta which has two dots on it and this ta which is without dots. There's difference. We have to differentiate when we pronounce this letter. Okay. Articulator of ta and pa is same, but there is a difference of quality and attribute between these two letters. We must pronounce ta in a simple way without thicker tone, and we pronounce ta, this ta, in thicker tone. We must pronounce this ta in thicker tone because this ta is from letter mustaliya. Okay, like that. First of all, put the tip of the tongue on the gums of the upper two teeth and then pronounce this letter in thicker tone. Okay, ta, ta. When you pronounce this letter in thicker tone, your tone will remain in your mouth and rotates in mouth, and the sound and the tone become thick, like that. Ta, 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 not ta, ta. This is ta which has two dots. This is another letter, and this ta is another letter. Difference between these two letters. Differ between these two letters. Okay, if you don't differentiate between these two letters, then in Quran, ihdinas siratal lazina. Siratal lazina. There is ta in sirat. Okay, you have to pronounce siratal, ta in bolder tone. If a person cannot differentiate between ta and ta, that person recites siratal lazina. Siratal lazina. This is incorrect pronunciation. Okay, the next letter is ra. The shape of ta and ra are similar, but there is a difference of dot. Ra has a dot on top of it and ta has no dot. The second thing is the articulator of ra. The articulator of ra is as it is the articulator of sa and za. The third thing is the attribute of za. We pronounce the ra in a polite way. In a polite way, not in stronger tone. And there should be no whisper when we pronounce this za. Okay, some people pronounce this za like za, za, za. This is incorrect pronunciation. So you have to differentiate between za and za. Okay, za with a dot on top of it, it is another letter, and this ra is another letter. You have to learn how to differentiate between the za and ra. It has a dot on top of it. The first thing is the difference of articulator. The articulator of za is another articulator, and the articulator of ra is another articulator. The second thing is the attribute of the letter. The letter za is pronounced in stronger tone, and the letter ra, which has a dot on top of it, ta and ra, this ra must pronounce in polite tone. Okay, like that. Ra, ra. The tip of tongue when it touches the edges of the upper teeth. Ra in bolder tone because it is from letter mustaliya. Ra, ra, ra. Okay. In Quran there is a word minaz zalimin. Minaz zalimin. In this letter zalimin, the word za is written. If a person cannot differentiate between the za and ra, then he mixes these letters. He read this letter minaz zalimin, minaz zalimin. He changed the word of Quran with another word. This is a sin. He committed a sin in the recitation of Quran. It is why, because he did not learn the tajwed. If he learns the tajwed, he understands how to differentiate between the letters, then he can pronounce the letter in correct pronunciation. Okay, the next letter is ayn. The first thing is the madda on the ayn. We prolong it for the 5-second maximum or 3-second minimum. The second thing is the articulator of ayn. The articulator of ayn is from the middle part of the throat. And the third thing is the attribute of this letter. When we pronounce this letter ayn, we squeeze our tone from the throat like that. I, r, this tone. Ayn, ayn, not ayn. Ayn. This is incorrect. In Quran there is a word an'amta. Siratul ladina an'amta. There is ayn in this letter an'am. Ayn. If a person know and understand how to pronounce ayn, the person will pronounce this letter an'am ta in correct pronunciation. If you don't know the tajwid, if you can't pronounce the ayn, then this person change this ayn with the hamza and he recite an'amta as we recite in our prayers. You are changing the letter ayn with hamza. This is sin. You are committing the sin. This is a sin. When you are committing a sin, you are reciting the Quran in incorrect pronunciation. You are changing the words of Quran by your own. There is not an-amta. There is I, not hamza. You are pronouncing the hamza at the place of the I. Okay, here is ayn, an-amta. Alayhim, not alayhim. You are pronouncing alayhim. You are changing the ayn with the hamza. This is alayhim, not alayhim. Tajweed is necessary for us to learn, so we can learn the Quran, we read the Quran, recitate the Quran with the correct pronunciation. And the second letter and the other letter is ghain. The shape of the ayn and ghain are the same. There is a dot on top of it, and ayn has no dot. The first thing about this letter is the attribute of this letter, and second thing is the articulator of this letter. So the articulator of this letter is from the top of the throat, ghain. Ghain, from the top of the throat. This is the articulator of ghain. Okay, and the second thing is the attribute of this letter. This letter is from letter mustaliya. We pronounce this letter in bolder tone. Okay, when we pronounce this letter, our sound and tone remains in our mouth and revolves in our mouth like ghain, ghain, ghain. This is the letter ghain.